welcome back to Chaosvash Live Gameplay. Now we play Stories, The Path of Destiny, episode 36. So other than that, let's get started, shall we? Heyo, heyo.
The Nexus was beautiful. He never realized how beautiful.
See this is right here? Like I'm just showing you. See it says activate hero path rewards. So once I took that off, I was able to do the trophy, and then once I finished, I just put it right back on. See right here. That real bad little check mark is that you're seeing.
The wind was so sweet, the sun so soft, the stones so warm, the black raven feathers. Black feathers. Suddenly, his eyes are filled with them. He's falling through smoke under a dead sun. Wasn't home. Is this a vision? Whose? Is it the time of the lost gods?
Yeah.
Or the future?
Oh, no problem, man. I figure people, who will see the game and probably, I guess, like go through what we went through. You know what I'm saying? I figure, I save a little time. You know what I mean? They probably do know, probably don't know. But I figure this way, they'll know.
And something more useful.
Oh, I was thinking about either giving it to maybe either Cassandra or probably Vito. You know what I'm saying? No, but I was thinking about giving it to Cassandra. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let her take over, I guess, the whole territory, and then for the second ending, instead of taking the crown, I'm just going to lead the city. You know what I'm saying? I'll just do it that way, Yeah, for my second playthrough, I'll do it that way. I'll give her the territory, because mostly everybody who I talked to and players, said that they gave it to Vito. You know what I'm saying? They gave it to Vito Skeletti, but I figure I'll let the woman be in charge. Especially in the game, is she? Oh, you did? Oh, okay. All right, yeah, yeah. I figure she's black, they'll be pissed
Up
off.
ahead was Lapino.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I figured, you know?
He'd go to the outpost,
Yeah.
use their fire speaker,
Okay,
tell the
okay,
Emperor
so,
what he'd
okay,
done,
so let me ask you this,
and
right?
then
So, okay,
he'd
so
go to the
basically
secret
to have
weapon.
one underboss alive, right? That'll mean I have to give her every single territory, right?
Base. Let them know
When it
he
says,
was
you know, like
ready
keep one
and lead them to
underboss
victory.
alive, right? That means I have to give her all the territory, right?
Renato rampaged through the Imperial outpost like a water buffalo rampaging. At the last
Oh,
moment,
they'll turn on
he
me.
remembered not to
Ah.
kill the fire speaker toad. After all, he wanted a word with the Emperor. But there was only silence.
Okay.
The Emperor was scared,
Well,
like little girl. Well,
I
he
figured
would
that
gather the
much.
rebel army and slaughter the Imperial fleet. Applauding
Yeah,
the
I
Iblestone.
figured that much. I guess they figured they say, hey, you know, say what the hell, why the hell
Then the
ain't we
Emperor
getting
would
any
have to answer
territories?
his
You know what I'm
fire
saying? You
speaker,
know?
wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Who are you?
I
asked a
already
distant
did all
voice
their
that sounded uncomfortably like
requests and
Zenobia.
side missions, stuff like that. So
What have you
I'm not
become?
really trying to do all
The
those all
mountains.
over again.
Go to
Nah,
the mountains,
I
urged
want to try to
another that
beat this
sounded a
game as
bit
quickly as
like
I can. You know
Capino.
what I'm saying? You know, so I'm gonna try to play as much as I can. You know.
Renato called. The ruins were crawling with ravens. Probably looking for the secret base, Renato thought. But then he realized they're probably looking for me. They must be very scared of me. Well, here I am. You are the sweet warrior, ever, whispered the Iblestone. And he had to agree with it, for once. Who was as good as Renato?
All right, 2 more to go. 2 more level ups to go.
Renato was so happy.
You know, it's funny. It goes by combo too. Let me take this off.
The stone was the best friend he'd ever had. Really, who would bury such a treasure in the desert? Soon,
Oh,
he'd go
really?
rally the rebellion and usher a new age for the islands of Earth. There's the stone. Let it make you Emperor. Come to think of it, Renato thought as he put down another raven, why shouldn't I be Emperor? How did anybody get to be Emperor anyway? By making war. Not counting the transcendent Emperor, obviously, who had banished the lost gods in the start of time. Yes, he should be Emperor. He would make a great Emperor. Right, Stone? The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. Renato strode into the council. Let's do this thing. Let's make me Emperor. They looked confused and nervous. Ah, had he mentioned the Emperor thing? Yeah, he meant to bring that up later. I mean, let's go.
I was thinking about playing Devil May Cry.
He waved his sword around encouragingly. They ran.
Yeah, I still got player games to choose from. I was thinking about either Devil May Cry or God Eater.
No
or probably, you know, like one of my other big games that haven't opened up yet. Or maybe Horizon Zero Dawn or
he said.
You know what I'm saying? You know, or Nier Automata. So I got choices. I got choices.
They'd run rather than following him, rather than cheering him. What should he do to the cowards? Anything he wanted to. After all, he was a true hero, the best warrior there ever was. No one could stop him now. But first, finish him. The Emperor, that is. Where was the rebel fleet? They weren't even trying an assault. They were going to miss a day in history. The downfall of this dynasty. And a new one to take its place. He didn't have to kill all the ravens. He could enslave them. And enslave the toads too. All the animals would worship him as a god. For he had once been a god. They would willingly give him their blood and their souls. And the world would change, would become familiar again. shadow was glowing with dark power. Already the sun had dimmed. He could do anything, he realized. He could wrap the island safely in smoke again. He was beyond a hero. He was going to become a god again.
Oh yeah, the Mad Max. The Mad Max piqued my interest. You know, cause like I said before, I always had wanted to get it, but just never really, you know, had the opportunity to. But now, since it's becoming free, why the hell not? You know what I mean?
The Black Sun. Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, my friends always told me about the game. You know, so this the game is crazy. You know, so like I said, I just never like really got a chance. You know what I'm saying? You know, to get it or play. You know what I'm saying? Because I have so many freaking games ready as is. You know what I'm saying? You know, and PlayStation Plus really doesn't help me out anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they always releasing these great games. Is out at least one or two games. You know what I'm saying? You know that you know I'm probably gonna want to play.
The Emperor desperately. In the name of the transcendent Emperor, croaked the speaker. They held some arcane items he didn't recognize. He simply flexed his will and sucked their souls out of their bodies. And Iblis exulted. It is finished. And the void that had been a mere stone on a sword expanded. It stretched and ripped like a vast womb. And a gaze, black and pitiless as the sun, passed through the void into the land. And so time ended.
Hmm.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had... The island... Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper. But ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls. A ruby that drank blood. A jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in the buried temple. Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now. Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals. Ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
This is why I chose this level. Like, this is why I keep choosing this level, because it gives you more experience points here.
There had to be some way to use the Iblis stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most
All
people.
I'm missing is 2 more, just these right here, and I'm done. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know me, I steam everything.
Not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders. It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made. It was the stone, eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him. Why not capture the core of Skyripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "It's the core," said the stone anxiously. But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was, he had a clever plan for dealing with it. The stone The moment he landed the Farfarer, Renato had a rare feeling of regret. It's not too late, he thought. He could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He frowned. Wait a minute. He didn't want to kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at Sword Food School together. They'd never been lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself. Except the biggest one. That she was the Emperor's daughter. No. Kill Zenobia, whispered the stone. Before it's too late. Ah, Zenobia. Now that he knew she still loved him, he wanted to go back to her. But that hadn't worked out. Maybe it was time to find the core of the Skyripper. Odd that they never locked these things.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate that.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each raven he cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm. "You're weak," whispered the stone. "The core will kill you. Are you afraid of it?" "No, don't fear it." It chuckled. "But it's unstable. It will poison you as much as carry it, and then if you try to use it, it will explode instantly." Renato did not trust rocks that talked in his head. He went onwards. approached the core, the stone became hysterical. No! It's too much power. We will rip a hole in space and time. He had a sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fit. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind. He felt invincible. It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he? The Nexus was infested with ravens, but that didn't bother Renato. With each death, the converted Iblis stone in his gauntlets glowed brighter, and he felt stronger. Wow. He was getting a bit bloodthirsty, wasn't he? Well, he wasn't worried. He was a warrior. They're supposed to be bloodthirsty.
Sorry.
This chest had teaspoons stolen from every inn in Boreas. Oh, and something more useful.
Oh, that's cool, man. Like I said, man, as long as you're enjoying the stay, man, you don't have to say not one ugly word. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it, man. All cool.
Renato had learned so much. It was time to turn it into something he could use.
All right, one more level, baby. One more, and I am done.
The core, absorbed in the stone, was doing its job perfectly. Bernardo could feel a little eldritch jolt every time he downed a raven, but then it flowed into the glowing stone the way water flows down a riverbed. It all felt perfectly natural, as if all his life, this was what he had been meant to do.
Well, once I finish up the story, you know what I'm saying, and then I just start new one, I'll probably just leave it at that, you know, and continue tomorrow.
Renato tore through the last remaining guards at the outpost like hot coffee through snow. There was a far speaker toad here.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll do this part here. I'll pick, you know, like I said, what quest I'm gonna do next, and after that, then I'll just continue for tomorrow my quest to get the last level up.
Let's talk about who else I can kill. Then the far speaker croaked again.
Hello, Renato,
It said.
If you get sick of slaughtering second-rate birds in the Nexus, I'm waiting for you in the mountains.
Zenobia. She missed him. She loved him. Once she saw how awesome he'd become, maybe she'd join him. They'd kiss and... Well, if she did refuse for some reason, he was no match for him now. As he set foot on the island, Bernardo felt energized, like when he was hunting or dancing. Then he smelt it, the stench of ravens. It was a good thing he was here too, before they tripped over the secret base. He was really saving the Council Toad's bacon, so to speak.
One more. Oh yeah, definitely, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, look, man, I love doing this, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, like streaming these games. You know what I'm saying? You know, going on about my little bits and antics. You know what I'm saying? Going crazy. You know, hey, look, man, what gamer doesn't get crazy and frustrated and like pissed off and died too many times? You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through that shit.
The ravens had reduced Ubar to rubble. Bernardo chuckled at the irony that it was now the secret rebel base.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was funny. Shoot, you should have seen me when I was when I first started. Like the first game I started streaming was Drive Club. You know what I'm saying? And that was before I even went on YouTube. You know, I was originally on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Even though I still do Twitch, you know what I'm saying?
Ronaldo was a hero of the revolution.
Like I originally
He
started
deserved
with
a
Drive
medal.
Club and on
Soon,
YouTube, you
he
know, I mean
deserved
Drive Club, you
every
know?
medal they had, and hopefully one big medal ceremony in front of
You
everybody.
know,
With
so yeah, man. So
trumpets
once
so
I like
everyone
did
could
that,
know what
I
he'd
started to
accomplished.
like steam a lot. Just say then, like the other game I was steaming, I did like maybe close to like almost what 300 episodes or 300 videos was Street Fighter 5. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then you know, I used to come up with like before I did the whole Chaosvash, you know what I'm saying, live gameplay, you know, I used to come up with like different like antics, you know what I'm saying, you know, like Street Fighter 5, you know what I'm saying, Fight Money, you know what I'm saying, Street Fighter 5, you know, the spy who shagged me. You know what I'm saying? It was just like just crazy, stupid antics, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's just crazy stuff, you know, I used to go through. That I used to like, you know, say, you know what I'm saying? You know, just crazy, funny stuff, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, I you know, like Street Fighter 5 is now or never, you know, like crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, and then you know, I used to like take out my anger, my frustrations on certain characters, you know, they used to just piss me off in the goddamn game. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you know, Borog and you know what I'm saying, you know, and Vega and you know what I mean, just like crazy antic stuff, man, it just had me rolling. It's funny, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, because look, man, everybody does different things for their broadcast and their stream, man. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But think about that,
Long
right? You know
stairs.
what I'm saying? Who in the
So he
world
was
would have a
close to the rebel
title? You know
base.
what I'm saying? Street Fighter
Nothing was
5, the
on
spy
fire.
who shagged me. You know what I'm
So
saying? I mean,
far,
come
so
on,
good.
that's crazy antic stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, but that's me. You know what I'm saying? You know? You know what I'm saying? You know, I freaking love it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, and then I told people, you know what I mean, you know, that like the only way I'll play Street Fighter 5 again is that if they give me even Ryu, because when I was playing, my character was Nash. You know, and I got up to like level 50, and just believe I freaking beat some tough
Inside the rebel
opponents.
base,
You know what I'm
Ronaldo was
saying? I
invited to the
beat people
council
that was
speaker's
like
private
platinum levels,
chambers.
level. I beat like some of the top 10
This
players
is
or
the
20
Iblis
players or
Stone,
100 players, you
he
know, in the
said.
world in Street Fighter. You know what I'm
I
saying? You
can
know,
feel its power.
and just you know what I'm
Ronaldo
saying?
told
That
her
like,
how he had
and
fed
you know
the
what I'm saying,
core to the stone
and
and
that
made
really
something
got me
even more
amped up. You
useful
know what
than
I mean?
either.
You know, like
Crazy
really
like a
amped and
fox,
pumped up. You
she
know?
croaked. And Ronaldo chuckled as if he'd never heard the joke before. We've given you the best quarters and a bottle of Tantalonian firewater. All for you. So they'd remembered. He woke in the morning with the sweetest of hangovers. But the Iblis Stone was gone from his gauntlet. The corridors were empty, except for a few rebels who looked just as hungover as him. Come on, you'll miss the battle, they yelled. Bernardo added sail as the Farfarers scudded across the sky. Who could have taken the Iblis Stone? Was it some Imperial spy? He would find him, and kill him, and take the stone back. Renato had a bad taste in his mouth. He was killing ravens, but it wasn't fun. It felt like a chore. Oh, Renato hated chores. As a fox kid, he'd gone hungry rather than clean his room. He still didn't clean his room, he just moved house every few years. Who had the Iblis Stone anyway? Up ahead, he could hear screaming and croaking and cawing. But who was winning?
Oh yeah, definitely. Hell yeah, man. This shit, you know any mistakes I made, man, fighting these goddamn bosses and shit like that, man. And then, like you said, you learn from, you know what I'm saying, you know? You learn from your mistakes, and then you do things differently, you know? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of like gaming, you know what I'm saying? You know, like you can learn from your mistakes and learn, you know, on like different strategies, different like outtakes,
As
you know
he
what I'm saying,
ran
you know?
forward, Renardo noticed that
You know
some
what I'm saying,
ravens
you
were
know,
starting to ignore him,
on like
just
how to like
running
play the
away.
game
Who
differently,
were
you
they
know what I'm
running
saying, you
from?
know?
Some
Yeah,
hero of the revolution? If some other so-called hero of the revolution
yeah,
had the
yeah.
stone and tried to take his victory and his medals, Renardo was going to be seriously pissed
Pissed
off.
off.
He was the hero, not some other bozo. Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Renardo. No?
Yep.
Finally, Renardo came to the Emperor's ship. Zenobia lay dead in front of it. The ship was a wreck. Ravens lay dead, sprawled everywhere. Bloody feathers spattered across the deck and the dock. The council speaker came out. She was waving a sword around like a flag. "Look at me, Renardo!" She croaked. The Iblis stone on the sword was black as coal. "Now I will be Empress, and all shall tremble before me," she croaked. So the stone had her. It was in her brain, whining for blood. "I'm afraid I can't allow that," said Renardo, and moved to fight her. Toads are not usually good with swords. Something about the footwork. And the council speaker was not even a warrior. She was always tripping over things, which is quite an impressive achievement when you're a toad. Yet somehow, she was pressing Renardo backwards as he desperately tried to keep her sword away from his throat. "Look, why don't you keep the stone?" he asked. "You deserve it. Blood and souls for Iblis," she croaked. "Blood and souls." She got under his guard with her sword. It was just the tip. But sometimes just the tip is enough. He could feel his soul being sucked into the stone. As he died, he felt embarrassed more than anything else. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage. Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause, and maybe Renato could use that somehow. Renato couldn't quite put his paw on when he'd realized Lapino was working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lapino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames. If Renato could prevent Lapino from getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip. How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lapino had talked Renato out of prison at least 4 times, and Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
All right, that is it. God damn it. All right, that's it for the broadcast, man. For all those who came by or who also joined us for the first time, I really appreciate it, man. But like I said, that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, we had a great day today. We kicked it off with some gaming news. As always, it's always good to get the gaming news, man. So if any y'all ever need to know about any games that's coming out, or if y'all need any options, just hit me up. Let me know, and I will give y'all my suggestions also. Anime news as well. I know everybody gotta be watching anime because I damn sure do. Alright, then we kicked it off with some Mafia 3, going through my second playthrough, you know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna take it from there and make that progress. And last but not least, stories of Path to Destiny. I got one more leveling up to do before I get that platinum and then moving on to the next one. Yep, so other than that, man, all y'all have a good day, have a good night. This is your boy Chaosvash, aka Lil Part 01, signing off. Stay cool, stay safe, stay breezy, real breezy. I'll let you later on tonight. Hopefully with more gaming news, anime news, and pizza. Thanks for always coming by, man, checking out my gameplay. I really appreciate it, man. You have a good day, and I'll check you later on tonight when we can finally finish this off and move on to the next one, man. Peace.